All right, welcome to roping. This is going to be a comprehensive video series of team roping from the beginner all the way through. No matter who you are, you'll be able to learn something from this. What I'm going to do right now is start with the very beginner. I take a soft rope, pretty soft rope. A beginner is going to want to build a little bit more of a loop like this in order to get started. You swing it, your thumb goes down when it comes back around here like this, and so it stays open. I'll have to do this, but it should look like that. You want your loop staying open all the way around you, and when you go to roping, you want to be over in position where your horse is, and then you want to deliver flat like that with your hands pointed so your horse still goes straight, and you're not pulling your slack. A lot of beginners and kids, you'll see them, the first thing they do is, man, they want to pull that slack, and when they do, I mean, they're pulling over here and they're pulling everywhere, and it's just bad horsemanship and bad habit. So if you're going to begin roping, start with the basics and practice your horsemanship from the ground also. I like when you get a little bit more advanced, you get feeling for the loop and the tip. That tip's going to be what's pulling, that you can feel. A lot of times I see guys that are, well, they've got a stiff wrist and they're going like this or something, and then when they throw, hell, dang it. Bad habit, I guess. But when they throw, and even when they're mounted, they'll do something like that, and they'll go over the top of the horns and go, you know, what used to be called frisbee, and go off onto the other side. So what you want to do, even when you're a beginner and you're having that problem, then I say go fly fishing to get that wrist, get your swing down. You still got your finger that's pointing, but then try and just reach out and touch that steer in the back of the head like that. It will get you in a better motion with your arm and your swing and your delivery, because when you're doing that, your delivery will be more precise because you're going to throw straight. Position's everything. When you're on the ground, on the dummy, you need to be consistent with your position. You need to act like you're going to be riding a horse. Get over here and rope him. Now, as a beginner or a kid, get into all positions. Get over here. Rope him from over here. I don't care. Play pig. I don't know if kids know how to play pig anymore, or horse. You pick a spot. You got 3 or 4 of you guys that are practicing. Pick a spot, draw a line, rope from there. You catch. Next guy comes in, he has to catch there. Next guy comes in, he misses, he's got to pee. When he spells pig, he's out. And so you just keep progressing until there's one person left. And rope from all positions. You know, that's fine. And rope and learn how to throw a lot of rope, for that matter. Get back here and reach. So those are my head tips right now. I'll try and get a little more precise one of these days. I'm not a professional roper. I think I teach a whole lot better than what I rope. The people I have taught to rope, they've done really well, and it's basically coming back to just the basics, and when you have to slow everything down, if you're a beginner and you're missing, slow everything down, throw out here straight, point both your hands, don't worry about the slack, see where your loop went. Hondo should be hitting there in the back of the head. And of course, if I slowed that loop down so it didn't curl. But some of the worst things I can do as a header is to allow my horse to get behind or too close to that steer in this position here. Remember, I got a horse's head right here. A lot of times you'll ride a high-shouldered, high-headed horse, and now you got to bring that up over the horse's head. And if you're out to the side a little bit more, you can see that steer and be able to deliver a rope. If you're in here and that steer comes over to the left, well, now you're trapped. I mean, very seldom you're going to find any intermediate roper be able to rope something in that position. It's just not going to happen. And it's dangerous because your horse is up there and you can get the steer bumped onto you. And these arena horses, a lot of them, they don't know how to stand up when that stuff happens. I take all of mine out and work them in the high country and in the mountains, and then they know how to stand up in all kind of conditions. You can swing. The more I swing going down the arena, the worse I get. I don't know why, but it's a habit that I got into. Swinging too much and swinging too hard, probably closing up my loop, delivering wrong. My solution for me is this: I feed and I rest. That's, if I have to take another swing, I can do that. More than that, then what happens is I'm in position and I don't rope. My horse comes up here, I'm too high now. I pull back on the horse and my loop's coming down here like this because I'm trying to back up. And when my loop gets down here like this, when you're swinging here, you have to pick your rope up to try and rope them horns, unless you're roping right horn, left horn. So to do this, you know, I can't do it. And I've watched videos of professional ropers. They can. I'm not a professional. You're not a professional. You don't have the skills that they have. But if you're swinging down here, it's hard. You see that? It's hard. You have to bring your loop back up and be into position to rope that head. So practice it right. Don't make it hard on yourself. Make it the easiest shot. Get your horse in position. If you have to go behind the dummy and rate and just stay there. Don't even swing until you've been in that position, your horse is comfortable, then pick up your rope, swing, and rope. But you see that loop was above the horns. It's up here, and it's not down here. So if I'm up, and it's hard, if for some reason you're holding back your horse and you got your loop down here like this, it is extremely hard to get your loop back up where you can rope back down. On a regular run, I find it very difficult to do. So, well, and there's another thing, since I'm still here, what I'll do is start at the dummy, just like you're coming out of the box. Start back here. Start back up here, walk into your position, and then rope. But always come into that position. You can walk up to it, trot up to it, whatever you want to do. Try and make it as realistic as you can. My son always yaps at me for running worn out ropes and soft ropes and whatnot, but this is my heel rope. It's a medium soft, and when I'm roping the reel, I'll rope a medium, but that's about all I can do. And I build it about like so, and when I get done feeding, Leo, when I visited with him, 100 years ago, he said a head rope is thrown and a heel rope is guided. And that's what I want to do, and I want to hit that hondo right there on that leg, and I want it to wrap around in that condition. So we're going to practice. Doesn't matter if I'm on a horse or mounted. I'm going to practice the same way. I'm going to get over the steer's back, and then I'm going to get that strand down like that. When I'm practicing on the dummy, I'm usually pulling the dummy for somebody else and yapping at them. But when I've got my time out there before people show up, I'll get on my horse and I'm coming around. I'm warming him up in the arena. So we lope around several times to warm him up, and then I'll come in and I'll rope the dummy. It's stationary. It's a smarty, but it's stationary. So I got the up, and then I'll come around just like if you were in a run. So I've got my horse, and then we'll come in, and then I'll make my throw. So that's kind of how I practice that. And got questions or comments, let me know and I'll try and address them. And this is, like I say, going to be a longer series. I got the idea. I'm just recovering from I guess my 7th cancer operation, and so I'm not even back in the saddle yet. Decided to try and make these videos because I like helping young ropers and other ropers that are actually having problems. You might have been roping for a long time and you've just developed some habits that aren't working anymore. So maybe I can give you a tip. Thank you.